Who's ready for a spoopy story time? Why was my hair giving Owen Wilson from like any movie? Have you guys ever heard of a shadow figure or a shadow person? I saw one when I was 9 years old, and that's what today's story time is gonna be about. Go ahead and grab some snacks, grab some drinks, grab some Halloween candy, because I know you guys have some of that. If you're going trick-or-treating tonight, please have so much fun, bundle up if it's cold, and be safe. Take weapons, put your keys between your fingers, and don't go down any dark alleys. And parents, don't worry about adults slipping nugs into your kids' candy. Nugs are expensive these days. They're definitely not giving them away to little Timmy to get high for free. What you should worry about though, check your kids' candy for razor blades, glass, needles, anything sharp, because unfortunately there are adults that put those in child's candy. With all that being said, bundle up on the couch and let's get right into it. Now this happened when I was 9 years old, okay? It was late at night, I was in the 3rd grade, I was home after school. This would make it roughly 2006, which was 19 years ago. Almost 20, that's crazy to say. So to set the scene, my parents are both in the living room. That's 2 rooms over from where I am, in the dining room, the kitchen being the room between us. My brother is all the way down the hallway in his room. Now our house was only 1,800 square feet, I think. It was a long ranch house, so all of that square footage was on one floor. So it kind of took a while to walk from the kitchen all the way down the hallway to my brother's room. And that's honestly how I liked it, because I was trying to have some peace and quiet, okay? My dog was laying in the dining room next to the back sliding door. She liked to look out and stare. Dog things. All the lights were off in the room when I went in and decided to lay down next to her and just pet my dog for a bit and enjoy some peace and quiet, because this is one of the nights that Linda was not Linda-ing, if you know what I mean. I grew up with a narcissistic mom, got tons of videos about her. Feel free to check those out. I got a bunch of other videos too. Back to my story though. Back to 2006. Wouldn't that be nice? If I could do it with different parents. Anyway, I'm laying there with my dog, sweet Labrador Golden Retriever mix, lovely baby, rest in peace Sandy. I'm looking out the window and I'm getting kind of spooked because it's really dark and I can't see out there. Now all the lights are off, so nothing can see me either, which is something you should know about. If it's dark outside, if it's nighttime, and you're standing in front of a window with the light on, anybody outside, even somebody at the end of the driveway across the street, they can see right into your house and they can see you. So that thought crossed my mind, but all the lights were off, so I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling spooked, because even if there was like a human out there, a trespasser, or a coyote, they can't see me, and they can't get to me anyway, because that door is locked. This was before I knew that my dad kept it unlocked most nights with his loaded shotguns by the door. That's great, just arm the intruder as he arrives. So I still had faith and I thought no one can get in. Well, as I'm laying there though, I start to think really scary thoughts. Thoughts like, well, what if somebody did happen to walk by? Or what if I saw a shadow? Or what if I see a shadow figure? Because that's something that I would hear my dad talk about, shadow figures. He would always tell me scary stories about shadow figures, which shadow figures are the silhouette, shadowy figures that look like humans that people see all the time. They see them out of the corner of their eye all the time. They'll see them walking by between rooms, but mostly it's out of the corner of your eye, not usually straight on. A lot of times people say that during sleep paralysis, they'll see shadow figures or shadow people, and there's a lot of lore behind these. Right here from Google is what Google says when I bring up shadow figures, and this is after some digging. A lot of people think they could be spirits of loved ones that are passing by, or mischievous spirits that want to mess with you. People think they could be demons. Others think it dates back to certain religious things. Shadow figures have been a topic for years, and most of it is just fodder to scare children, and that worked on me. But I'm laying there thinking, wouldn't it be bonkers if I saw a shadow figure right now? Like my dad used to see him. What if I just saw one right now? That'd be insane, right? I think that thought, and then I hear footsteps, and they're coming from behind me. But there shouldn't be anyone behind me, because my parents are in the living room, and my brother's in his room playing Fable. So who's making the footsteps? And my dog's right there, and we don't have any other animals or any other siblings, so who's making the footsteps? I immediately turn around, and clear as day, I see a head peering out like this around the wall from the hallway. A human head. Now I could not make out any of the features, the eyes, the mouth, the nose, but I could make out the shape of a head and then a little bit of a neck peering around the corner. I saw it peer out too. I didn't just look and it was already there. I saw this. And I immediately go, who's that? After I say, who's that? It's almost like it triggers this thing. It's like I press the button. This thing starts moving. It's like this, and then it gets down on all fours, and it starts crawling. And as it's crawling on all fours, it turns its head and just looks at me. It doesn't cross my mind that it's weird that this thing didn't respond to me when I said, who's there? It crosses my mind that this is probably my brother messing with me. So I say, oh, it's just you. I'm not thinking anything of it as this thing lowers itself down, like melts onto the floor, and turns and looks at me with a jerking motion. This is my brother messing with me. We would mess with each other all the time. It would ruin the facade of him being some scary, dark thing in the shadows if he spoke to me. So that thing's like this on the floor now, and it's looking at me like this, and it's not moving, okay? It's just like this. It's not moving. It's just staring at me. And I can see the whole silhouette of a little boy. Now it's starting to cross my mind, that boy looks a little bit too small to be my brother. My brother was always a bigger kid, and he was 5 years older than me. And this shadow person was about the size of someone from my class, someone that would be in 3rd grade. So as these thoughts are starting to cross my mind, it finally dawns on me as I'm staring at this thing. We've been staring at each other for at least 5 seconds at this point. We're staring at each other, and I realize, that's not my brother. And if that's not my brother, and I can hear my parents laughing at their show in there. They're watching American Idol. I can hear them laughing. Who the hell is that? I immediately jump up. I bolt into the living room. Mom, Dad, there's someone in the dining room. And they're like trying to watch their show. So they're just like, what's in the dining room? I saw a shadow figure, Dad. I saw a shadow figure. And he had just recently told me stories. So he's thinking that I'm just a little kid messing with him, making stuff up, playing pretend. Oh, sure you did, honey. Like, go away and play. We're trying to watch our show. No, really, I saw a shadow figure. My parents don't want to hear anything of it. Their child coming to them after a long day at work, telling them that they see a shadow figure. Either A, they don't believe it, or B, they do believe it and they don't want it to concern them. Because my mom refused to go check. I begged both of them, can you guys please go check? None of them wanted to go check. My dad refused to say for sure whether or not he thought it was a shadow figure or not, or just a trick of my eyes, because my mom was like, Harold, are you sure? Yeah, it's fine. He wouldn't say for sure, but he wasn't gonna get up and go look. So I'm thinking, you're okay with this thing hunting me, but you don't want it to start looking at you? Okay. So I'm just gonna get taken in the night then, or possessed. I see how it is. And my dad would be like that a lot. I remember one time, this girl told me if you knock on the wall and say, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, after someone passes away, that a ghost will come haunt your house. And I did that, and I cried and told my dad what I did, and that I was afraid that like somebody was gonna come haunt our house that I invited a spirit in. And he laughed about it, and he told me, no spirit's gonna come haunt the house because you tapped on the wall and said some words. So I said, can you do it then? No, I'm not doing that. Well, why not? If nothing's gonna happen, I'm not messing with that. So I'm thinking, my dad probably thinks there's a shadow figure in there. He just doesn't want to say it. He doesn't want to check. To appease me, my mom then goes, oh, it was probably Cody. Go ask him. He's probably just messing with you. It takes me about half an hour to get the courage. Meanwhile, my dog's just in that room. She didn't have any reaction. She's still laying in that room. I need to go check if she was alive, right? This thing could have got her. So I finally suck up the courage. I debated what my pathway is going to be, because there's 2 ways to the dining room. I could go through the kitchen where I ran and flick the light on there and then look and see if the shadow figure's there and then see if my dog's okay. Or I could go through the formal living room and then turn the hallway light on and look down this way where the figure first appeared and see if it's still crouched there. And I'm thinking that way seems better because my parents can see me. There's sliding doors that open up between the living room and the formal living room. And that was my plan. I was like, can I go through the formal living room and then turn the hall light on to check? So if somebody's here, you guys can see me. And they're like, yeah, whatever. So I do that. I walk through the room. I go into the other one. I open the door. So I go into the other one. And it takes me a minute. I'm standing there. I'm nervous. Standing there so long that it makes my mom mad. Oh, just flick the light on already. That gives me the courage I need to lean around the corner and flick the light on. And I immediately look at the spot where I saw the figure and nothing's there. So I turn the dining room light on too, and I step all the way in and I look at my dog and she's just laying there looking out the sliding door like nothing happened. I go over and I pet her. I'm like, Sandra, you okay? And she just looks annoyed that I woke her up from her nap. So my next course of action is to go down the hallway and ask my brother if it was him. My phone died, so sorry for the sudden stat change. Hey, you can see my skeleton ballerina, Skull-arita, whatever you want to call her, and my dead dog. So I went down the hallway and I knocked on my brother's door and he didn't say anything, so I pounded on it and he goes, what? And I pushed the door open and bro's laid back like this with his controller, some chips in his pants, gamer grease all over the Joy-Cons. You know how it is. Bro looked like he hadn't gotten up since 1962. So I immediately knew before I asked that it wasn't going to be the answer I was hoping for, that it was my brother that I just saw crouch down in front of me and crawl and look at me. But I ask anyway, hey Cody. What? Was that you just now? What are you talking about? About half an hour ago, was that you in the dining room? No, I haven't gone in the dining room. Get out of my room. You didn't just walk in the dining room a half hour ago, crouch down and look at me and say nothing. No, what are you talking about? Get out of my room. So I leave his room and I go in the living room and I tell my parents, hey, that wasn't Cody. So there was a shadow figure in there. My parents are just like, you were seeing things. You have a vivid imagination. That bullshit they tell kids when they don't want to deal with the ghosts in the house. Yeah. So I go back in the living room and I remember I like poked Sandy a few times because I'm thinking, is she possessed? Because I've seen like all these weird shows about ghost hauntings and the dog is usually the first to A, get possessed, or B, die. So I'm thinking if she starts acting funny, I'm gonna keep an eye on her, because if she starts acting funny, she's possessed. It got her. Or she's gonna die in the next 7 days. She didn't. She lived to be 16 years old, and I never ever saw a shadow figure again in that house. So here's my question. Was it truly that the brain is more active when you're younger, that you can actually conjure up a visual hallucination of something if you're anxious enough about it? I was terrified in that moment of seeing a shadow figure. It made me not want to lay there with my dog anymore. So then to immediately hear something and then turn around and see that figure crouch and stare at me, did I make myself hallucinate by over worrying about it? Because that's something that happens in my life. If I think about something enough, it happens. Not hallucinations. Or do you guys really think that it was something and me thinking about seeing a shadow person was enough energy for a spirit to appear? Or was it a spirit that just saw a child and saw a moment to scare that child? Or was it a dead kid, the spirit of a dead kid wandering through that was just trying to connect? Or was it something trying to get me, like a mimic? I've heard things about mimics. This is what a mimic is. I'll throw that up from Google. You think it was a mimic? Or is it just a shadow person that just happened to be there at that time? I don't know. Anyway, if you guys could take the subscribe button out for trick-or-treating, go to the meanest lady's house on the street, knock on the door, and then run away right before they answer, that'd be great. It really helps me out. If you have extra time, punch the like button in the face as you're walking by and steal his candy. Every bit counts. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next week. Bye!